I felt deeply honored when the people from Earth Awareness asked me to capture the opening ceremony they organized on the Psy-Fi festival in an area where I grew up. Five indigenous wisdom keepers from different traditions were invited to come and to share their knowledge, their wisdom, and their message for the people. To me, it appeared as if two worlds came together, an ancient tradition on a modern-day dance festival where a message of love was to be heard. A call to come together, to remember and to celebrate who we are. A call to awaken our own knowledge, our own wisdom, and to create our own ceremonies once again. What I experienced there reminded me of an old Native American legend. There will come a day when people of all races, all colors, will put aside their differences. They will come together in love, joining hands in unification, to heal the earth and all her children. They will move over the earth like a great whirling rainbow, bringing peace, understanding, and healing everywhere they go.
Ho ho! I am so happy to be in the land of Bukit-Tumut, the people of the lowlands. I am from the top of the world, just northeast of Netherlands, northwest of Netherlands, not very far, in a country called Greenland, only about 8,000 kilometers. I came here to celebrate with you, and I have so much to celebrate because I have been welcomed to your land. I'm so grateful. I never met you, and you never met me, for you make me feel home. Ho ho! My name is Angaangaq, and it means the man who looks like his uncle, and I do. Our beloved grandmother Angakkorsuaq told us that life is a ceremony in itself, worthy celebrating with a ceremony, which means that your life, your own personal life, is worth celebrating with a ceremony. But then afterward, she would say, when the ceremony loses its spirit, it becomes a ritual. And my grandmother was born in 1893, and she raised us, and she says, and the world as it is full of rituals. So we ask her, what is a ceremony? And she would say, that's something you would do in your heart, which makes you comfortable, which makes you lifted, and you do it over and over and let it develop and grow. And just like anything growing, and we can see that here, sooner or later, a bud would be born in your ceremony, and that bud would begin to open, and there's a flower in your heart, which is your ceremony. And she would say, and at the end, that flower will become a full blossom, and what she does, there will be seeds in a blossom. And because you live here in Bukit Holland, Netherlands, winds of change will come upon you. And when that happens, the seeds of your ceremony will be blown away. And somewhere else, another ceremony will be born. I was so happy to be part of the ceremony here in Netherlands this morning. I could only give what I know, what I learned in my life. I chanted the chant of the ancestors because we were told that you and I, no matter where we come from on this earth, cannot live without our ancestors. It's learning to recognize them, who they are, accepting the way they are. And when you come to Holland, you realize you can feel on earth how many wars there have been, where millions have been killed. So the earth needs healing, like the people themselves.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. To the people of this land and to your land, I acknowledge you, I greet you. What I'll do now is acknowledge my ancestors and bring them down to join me. But then I'll also honour your ancestors. E o te atua tuatahi, tēnā koe, tēnā koe, tēnā koe. Tōku tūpuna, heke mai, heke mai, heke mai ki tēnei taha. Ngā tūpuna o te tangata nei, heke mai, heke mai, heke mai. Greetings of love to everybody. Ko Toroa, taku ingoa. Toroa is my name. He tangata whenua o Aotearoa au. I am people of the land of New Zealand. I'm in Europe representing my ancestors, my tupuna, who told me to come here. The most important message I've discovered since I've been in Europe. As I said, tangata whenua is what I am of New Zealand. Every time the words native, indigenous, First Nations were mentioned, I automatically thought of the colours brown and black. Then I came to this beautiful whenua, this beautiful land, and met these beautiful people here. For me to come to the realization, the tangata whenua of this land are white. If I didn't ever come to Europe, I would never ever have thought that way. You have many strong tribal history here, cultural history, and the love, the araha from the people here that's been shown to me has been very humbling. If I have one message to get right around the world, that message is to every indigenous nation on the planet to include the colour white. What I'd like to do now is a healing chant which binds us all together. Diwi a niwi niwa, because we have the colours of the rainbow here. Nō reira, E re 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 te kōtare, ki rungi i tapu wharawhara. Rū ai a parirau, tahingo e te rā. Tiore mai i uta, tiore mai i tai. He rangi ka mao, mao, mao te ua.
Never, Juliana Karamutinere, and I'm at the Reta Manata, to Sayapareta Manata, Epa, to Reta Naketa. Ya never, and you be make a Epa to Reta Naketa. To no later motiveke, to Rekara motiveke. Epa Epareta Naketa, Zipo to Orna Kauka. Ya never. Ok, pues buenos días a todos. Yo soy Santos Lopez, español, Virrárica Paritamay, mi nombre, Virrárica. Yo soy de México, Guadalajara, Jalisco, la Sierra Norte de Jalisco. Pues fíjate que hicimos una ceremonia aquí, que sí está bien. Nada más me cayó el sueño la noche, que cuando... Creo que no hay gente que haga ceremonia acá, de dueños que viven aquí, pues, de ancianos, ya no hay lo que hace ceremonia. Que está abandonado la tierra, pues nunca le ha hecho lado de la tierra, ofrenda, nada, no hay nada. Que falta dar unas ofrendas, así como frutas, alimentos, pues, no. Falta eso. Sí está bien lo que hicimos aquí, todo, que quedó bien todo, y lo prendamos nuestra tierra, pues eso ya quedó bien. Y una parte, pues, que hicieran otro más así como, que comprara unas velas así grandes, que lo pusieran ahí en la tierra, con árboles, eso falta para hacerlo eso.
Grandmothers and grandfathers of the 4 directions, the 7 sacred directions above, below, and center. We give you thanks for this beautiful day and this beautiful gathering. We give you thanks for all these children of the earth who are gathered here. We are all indigenous to the lands from which we spring. We are all being called back to awareness of our connection to Mother Earth, to Father Sky, to all our relatives. We give you thanks for being here today. We give you thanks for this festival and the music that runs through our bodies, to the sky and to the earth. We give you thanks for balance and for harmony and for the one heart that beats within us all.
My name is Robin Tlaquelishk Youngblood. I'm Okanagan, which is Sinisht in our language, from British Columbia and Washington, and Cherokee from the southeast of America, and a little bit of Dutch. It's lovely to come to Holland and Europe and all over the world to share cultural ways and so forth, and to do ceremonies that bring people together, because it's a time when we need to harmonize and unify. We have sayings about unto the 7th generation. When in our culture, when we go into council to make a decision, it's always based on the next 7 generations and beyond. How will it affect them? Here in Europe, over the years, I've shared many things, and I always tell people, you have your own culture. And people come to me all the time and say, no, we lost our culture with the Inquisition and the World Wars and so forth. And I always tell them, no, you haven't. It's there in your trees. It's in your river. It's in the ocean. It's in your mountain. Go to the trees, the ocean, the mountain, the rivers. Ask. Your ancestors will bring those ceremonies back to you. I can share ours, but they're ours. They're different from yours. The ceremony that we did today, you asked how I feel about that ceremony. I felt it was wonderful. And it was very special to bring elders from the 4 directions. We had 5 today with Jeffrey, who was representing the center and above and below. And to have us use our cultural knowledge, our wisdom, and the ceremonies that we know to bring this all together, to give an example, if you will, for those who feel that they've lost their culture. Because from our example, we pray that each person who witnesses that will be able to go to their mountain, to their river, to the ocean, and pray, and ask, and remember, because it's all in our DNA. We are the result of the love of thousands of ancestors.
It's my honor to stand amongst my brothers and sisters, amongst all of you, because we are all wisdom keepers in our DNA, in the place of our heart. So in that center, in that 7th arrow, I invite and welcome you all to come to your hearts, to overcome the difficulties that you've experienced, those have crossed borders, those that are blocked by the mind. As we come together to celebrate, to dance, and to be one people again, I ask you all to extend your hearts. So if we could take a moment to close your eyes, to take a deep breath. I'm Jeffrey Wium. My medicine name is Huamanchik, and that is given to me in the Andes. I have been a practitioner in the Andes for almost 15 years. I was called in to, in a sense, be a translator. My name means the messenger. And I come from North America, and sometimes it's odd to work in a tradition that is very ancient and in South America or some other part of the world, because I don't look like what one would expect an indigenous person to look like. So for me, it's been a long journey of remembering who I am beyond what I was taught in the Western world and what limitations I picked up from the thinking and the programming that I absorbed while being in that world. I am considered an Ultimusaic, which is a celestial Paco. A Paco means a maestro of the living energy. And I've been trained in the ways of being an intermediary between heaven and earth. So I bring myself and a lineage that is tens of thousands of years old to come to Psy-Fi to pray and to welcome the heart forward, because we're in a deep time of transition, which is called the Panchakuti in our culture. The Panchakuti is denoted by a time between eras when everything turns over, and that which seemed to be in control or to be in a strong dominant energy falls away, and then something new is brought up for this. So for me and for us, the wisdom keepers that came, we came to really bring that awareness and that presence and those prayers to begin to change what no longer works and what we are moving away from into something that works. But instead of moving away from it, we're actually learning to turn and move so deeply into it that we integrate all of our discomforts, all of our irrational feelings, all of our disharmonies, all of our displeasure, so that we learn to do alchemy and to really create the gold, so to speak, from the heaviness, the lead, to bring the light from the dark. And that is really the rebirthing of humanity, where we come together and we live in a way that is sacred, where we address the places where we've grown uncomfortable with each other, where we've forgotten how every reflection is simply a reflection of one's own perspective. So as we enter into this new day, this new era, or this new earth, we learn to see with different eyes, not at our differences, but at the opportunity of our similarities. And this morning's ceremony was so beautiful because the people came to start the day and they were so curious. And they watched and they heard these things that they'd never heard before. Some had heard, but maybe didn't understand. And through the north, the south, the east, the west, and the within, the above, below, and the within, and the chants and the prayers, we began this great dance and this great weave, this Celtic knot. And then we all came together and sat around the womb, and really learning to birth this energy, this fountain of life. And so these ceremonies are done throughout times and throughout spaces to stitch together the parts of the globe and to bring this wisdom back together. So I am so grateful, so humbled to offer prayer, to offer smoke, to offer song, and to offer the invitation to remember that which dwells deep in our womb, that which moves through our will and comes to our heart, that which descends and becomes a living wisdom and drops into the heart and becomes a living library.
It's important to close the ceremony and bring only that which protects us and harmonizes us and holds us in unity. So bring that all to your heart and surround yourselves with protection as we leave this place. Aho.
Standing in respect is very, very important. This is really the only way that we will be able to restore balance. And that respect first has to come from respecting ourselves, and then respecting each other, and then spreading that out wherever we go. So in this festival, I saw a lot of that this morning. And I'm deeply grateful for that. It touches my heart. The energy that we brought in this morning was truly incredible. Everybody felt it. It will give an entirely different tone to this whole event. And a great awakening will happen from that.
Yes, we want to live in peace, but peace is really interesting. Peace can never be made by your government. It can never be made by European Parliament. It could never be made by United Nations. The peace had to be born inside you personally.
We're all torn apart in modern culture. And that includes me and every Indigenous person. We're oppressed, depressed, repressed, every pressed you can think of. Okay? So this remembering is a putting ourselves back together, remembering ourselves as the children of the earth, as Indigenous people. We are all Indigenous to this planet. And Mother Earth is alive. She's a living, organic being. We've raped her, we've pillaged, we've cut down her forests, we've mined, we've done all kinds of things that we shouldn't be doing. And we know it at some level, no matter how numbed we are, we know that this is inside us. So this taking apart is a matter of looking at the things that we've been told in modern culture that we can get away with, even though we know we're not really getting away with it.
Until I have peace within myself, and I'm able to look into your spirit and touch your heart, how can I have peace? Peace can never be born outside me. Peace will only be born within me when I have peace within myself. The next one would be begin to feel the beauty of peace. And then through that, the peace on earth will be born. And the wars will stop.
When we've been invited to come and to be present and say prayers, we are not just calling in the four directions that represent the wisdom and the new beginning, the trust and the innocence and the letting go, Heavenly Father and Mother Earth, but we bring that all together into the seventh arrow, as we see in the Native American tradition, into the heart and into that munai and that wisdom center, so that we begin to transmit out through our actions and transmit who we are as a being. It's as if we open up our verticality. We are balanced between heaven and earth, the present, the future, and the past, the illusion of that, because it's all happening together. And also our masculine and feminine, we bring that all together into a oneness, into a being. It is actually where our energetic fields overlap and come together, and that masculine and feminine interbrace and become this. One of the pieces of wisdom that I bring from the Andes is that when you look at the glaciers melting, think not of this terrible atrocity that's happening to this world, because it is happening to every world, because our entire galaxy is moving through a supercharged part of the larger universe, of the larger universes, of the lower verses and the middle verses and the upper verses, everything that makes this reality. And so we know that at this time, and it occurs every 90,000 years based on our solar cycle, that we turn to the waters of the glacier, and the crystals of the glacier is storing the wisdom, and the energy of the sun causes a melting, and that water comes down, and we take that water and we bring it into ourselves, and it activates our cellular memory, and we start to wake up. So there is a perfect example of someone that may see something as a fearful thing happening, as the end of time, is actually the end, the contraction, because it is the beginning of time. It's the opening that allows us to come together again and to be present with each other in a way that we've long forgotten.
Remembering ourselves means bringing ourselves back together in a whole new and ancient way, honoring and activating all that is there in our DNA to help us rebalance and restore Mother Earth. And if we don't do this, there's going to come a point where Mom just says, okay, I'm going to scratch you off my back like a dog with fleas. She'll be fine. Mother Earth can recover. It may take her another 250 million years, but she can recover. Whether we will be here is another story. That's up to us. We have full choice.
Ho ho. Dank u wel.